Hey guys, welcome to another Instagram TV video. Today I'm out in sunny Spain with BMW UK to drive the brand new M8 Competition and M8 Competition convertible that we have in front of us here. In fact, I'm in a bull ring at the moment, which is pretty cool. And this car is a bit of a bull, especially the coupe that I've been in all day. Now, what is the M8 Competition? Well, it's the flagship M car from BMW. It starts at £123,500 for the coupe. The convertible is exactly £7,000 more, so let's call it 130 grand on the road. This one's fully loaded, being a press car, and this is actually closer to about £150,000. It has a package on it called the Ultimate Package, which is 20 grand. Just for a package, just for one option, 20 grand. I say one option, that is basically every option that you can get individually on the car. Now, it looks absolutely stunning in this glorious sunlight, of course. Some notable features, well, this has got the exterior carbon pack, so that means it's carbon around the canards here. We've got carbon wing mirror covers. As you can see, standard is just the normal black. These are M-style wing mirror caps. We've got side blades in carbon, which are really pretty large actually. And when we walk around the back, we've got a carbon spoiler, and we've also got a carbon rear diffuser with 4 massive exhausts. They are 100mm in diameter each. Huge, the biggest exhaust I've seen on a standard sort of road car leaving the showroom ever. What else are we going to talk about in this car? Well, let's talk about the wheels. They're 20-inch. There's 2 different styles of wheels. These ones have got the brilliant Michelin PS 4S's on them. The coupe that I was driving earlier actually had Pirellis, unfortunately, because, you know, I'm a Michelin fanboy. These work so much better in my opinion. Behind the wheels, we have massive carbon ceramic brakes. They're 390mm front rotors or discs on these, which are just incredible, produce a lot of stopping power, but even the standard brakes are 385mm and they're 6-pot calipers. So I haven't driven one with standard brakes, but I'm sure they work just as well. But these are good for when you go on track, and in fact it's the first M car that I've driven that gives you 2 different braking calibrations. So you have normal and sport, I think. So when it's sport, they feel basically over assisted. Take a bit of getting used to, but I'm sure on track they'll be fantastic. You need massive brakes because this particular car is actually just over 2 tons, the convertible one, and the coupe version is just under 1900 kilos. I think it's 1895 or 1885. So it's a heavy lump. And I was worried about it being so heavy, jumping out of an M850i, for instance, which is a very capable car, but it just doesn't feel sporty enough. But honestly, the coupe I'm talking about is unbelievable. Really hides its weight and hides its mass very well. And it's just fantastic. This being the convertible, it's 125 kilos heavier, but to be fair, it feels like it's about 300 kilos heavier. It does a good job, but if it was my money, it would go on the coupe. But I think if I lived out here, it would be a hard choice because look at that. I mean, what a cabin, open top motoring, just beautiful. Interior is amazing. So you've got the new M style seats. These are merino leather, full merino leather is standard. And what you find in the cabin is it's a mixture of merino leather and Alcantara. It's just really nice. You've got a wind deflector here that's standard in the convertible. Rear seats, just like with the coupe or the normal 8 Series, they're not really rear seats. It's a 2+2. Don't think of it as a 4-seater. Even 2 smaller adults in the front, you're going to struggle to get more than kids in the back. But just like with a 911, the rear seats are very usable. You can throw luggage and bits and pieces in there. So if it's 2 of you, then it's very practical because you've got all that excess luggage space and you've got a reasonable sized boot. Not so much on the convertible. Let's have a look. Come on, open. It's an electronic boot lid, which is standard, I believe. Yeah, the boot in the convertible is obviously sacrifices because of the folding soft top that's on this car. So yeah, you can see this folds up when you've got the roof up. So you've got more boot space when the roof is up, but less when it's down. Just close that. It's very slow. Something else that's a bit strange with this car, the rear boot lid, the operation there, you could hear the motor whirring, but when you operate the roof, it's actually completely silent. So, and it does that in 15 seconds up and 15 seconds down. It's a very quick process, and up to 31 miles an hour. So your standard sort of affair, I think that's very similar to, say, the Z4. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about the heart of this car. Let's talk about the engine. It's a familiar engine. It's the same engine and running gear as you get in the M5 Competition, which is potentially still my favourite M car, I have to say, just because it's got the 4 seats. And an M5 Competition is about £25,000 cheaper than an M8 Competition. So value-wise, there's no denying that's still the best value car. But yeah, we've got a 4.4 litre V8 twin turbo, 617 brake horsepower, 750 newton meters of torque. 0 to 62 miles an hour in the convertible, 3.3 seconds. In the coupe, 3.2. Top speed 155. You can have that limiter lifted to 190 miles an hour. But the figure that really stands out to me is the 0 to 124 mile an hour, which is 0 to 200 kilometers per hour. The coupe does it in, I think it's 10.8 seconds. That's a claim time. So you're probably talking 10.5 seconds, which is just incredible. Let's see if I can close this in one go. Yes, that's pretty hard to do. So yeah, incredible engine, really nice running gear. Talking the familiar ZF8 speed, although BMW call it something else, but it's effectively a very well calibrated ZF8 speed. We've got a new gear selector in there for the M8, which is really nice. Much more tasteful than that crystallized thing that comes in, that's optional on the normal 8 series. You've got lots of M8 competition badging. You've got one down there. Obviously got them on the door sills. Carbon core. Yeah, lots of M badges scattered around the car, but it is an M car, so that's absolutely fine. Something else that's new, got a familiar steering wheel there with the M buttons, the M1 and the M2, which were introduced on the F90 M5, so they're preset as to what you want the car or the settings to be. And the setup is down there, and in fact you just press setup and that comes up on there, and you can see all your different options. What's not showing there is 4-wheel drive sport and 2-wheel drive, so you can decouple the front axle and just have it as a rear wheel drive monster. 615 horsepower through the rear wheels. Yes, big skids, as you can imagine. So you can do all that. But what's new with this car over any other M car is the M mode button. Long story short, there's 3 modes. I think it's normal, sport and track. When you're in track, it basically disengages all of the annoying nanny aids that we get in modern cars these days. So if you're on track, you select that and it turns off any of the pedestrian avoidance and all of that stuff's off. And also it shuts down any excess screens. So you've just got your head-up display and stuff that you need to see when you're on track. Really good idea. I can't believe that manufacturers have taken this long to adapt that. But it's just a great function, and it's something that when you take a modern big sports car, supercar out on the track, there's nothing more annoying than the avoidance things kicking in constantly. Right, I'm running up to my 10-minute limit, so I'm going to cut this video soon. I'm going to say goodbye, but yeah, absolute pleasure. As I say, the coupe is where my money would go, but if I won the lottery and I lived out in Spain, I would have to have one of these, wouldn't I? In terms of colours, I actually called it sunset orange in one of my videos, I think, but it's not sunset orange. It is Motegi red, and it is very close to sunset orange, but this is Motegi red, and it's absolutely stunning. Looks really good, lovely compromise or contrast rather to all of the black and the carbon on it. Right guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say goodbye. We're going to get on a plane back to freezing England in a couple of hours, so try not to think about that and enjoy the next few hours. Thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers, bye.